Oh dear. Okay. Hi. My name is awesome Karolína Fiedler, and I welcome you to the 4th episode of my podcast, where I read all of my diaries uncensored. This day petrified me from the very beginnings of this podcast. This episode belongs a bit more in the future on the timeline, but my paper diaries are still chilling somewhere on the customs, and this is the last paragraph that I have available. And I don't want to disrupt the flow of my determination to release one episode each week, because it could happen that I would never get back to it. I recommend my family to skip this episode. Seriously. And if you listen to it anyway, please just never, ever tell me about it. Like I promised to myself, I will share everything. Because the point of this whole thing is to open up and learn how to talk about things that make me uncomfortable. I was never good at talking openly about sex. I actually think that I am not better at it today than I was at the age of 19. And what did it ever lead to? Just to pretending that I liked something I didn't like at all, because I was simply too afraid to communicate it, which oftentimes led to me refusing to have sex completely. I wasn't interested. I tortured myself with thinking that I was weird and frigid. Even though I have learned a thing or two since the age of 19, both from the field and about myself, my ability to talk about sex openly and without shame still stayed crouched, hiding in the corner, watching enviously everyone who have managed to master this craft. I tried, from time to get in the spotlight, be all out there, and bravely describe all the nice thoughts and ideas, by which I only created something similar, mildly unnatural, like this paragraph I am now, with all the shame and horror getting ready to read. Despite all of this, I was always a firm believer that, for a happy life, the ability to communicate sex is one of the key things. That is why I am going to forget all the taboos and the mockery running through my head now, and I'll just read it. Somewhere in 2013. Dear Diary, I am feeling a bit better today. I am really not the only girl who does not enjoy porn-style, rabbit-like fucking. It's nice to have girlfriends. A person discovers that she's not, after all, completely different. And if she is, she's not alone. Once again, I go to Cosmopolitan Thought. Even though I view porn positively, that is a lie. I lied to my own diary. Seriously, who is so distant from herself that has to lie even to her own diary? This doesn't mean that I view porn negatively. I never had any view on porn. I was never drawn to watch it. The only moments I ever watched it were in bed with a guy, only because he wanted it, and yes, I lied to him too, saying that I really wanna watch it too, and that I'm interested which one of the actresses is his favorite. Dude, good for you. I don't need to know this. Rant over. Back to the past. I also see why porn is bad and where it gives the wrong example. I've realized that in connection to my burned back and the memory of my suffering niece. In porn, the two, or more, jump at each other anywhere and anytime. The famous kitchen floor. Carpets. Those things are so sexy that they should turn an ice cube red hot, no? But that is wrong! I refuse to believe that this is how the kitchen floor became famous. It wasn't because the two rabbits said to each other, "Why not?" and then shouted to the world that this is the new trend now. It must have happened spontaneously, when the chick would cook for her man, and while she stood by the hob, stirring the sauce so it doesn't clot and trying to focus on the expensive steak so it wouldn't burn, her man would come to her from behind and start to arouse her. Kiss her on the neck, play with her nipples, and bite her earlobes lightly, right at the time when the steak is nearly well done. He would enjoy her helplessness and her attempts to stay sane so she could prepare a nice dinner. But when he slowly moves his hand down to her pants, the steak becomes doomed. She would turn around quickly and jump at him. They'd lose balance. He would hit his elbow and she would hit her knee. But they don't care, because the passion overpowers all the unimportant, insignificant, trivial pain. They would fuck wildly on the kitchen floor and then go get Chinese takeaway from the restaurant next door. They'd probably get a rabbit on a jasmine rice or whatever. That's not the point. Unfortunately, from my experience, it looks like many men these days understand the concept the other way around, throwing me at the first carpet or a floor they see, expecting that the passion will come automatically. But it won't. And so I sit here, writing in my diary about my hurting knees and burned back. And I only hope, my dear diary, that one day I will meet a man who sees it the same way I do. Okay, I've done it. Yes, no matter how strange this paragraph is, the message is clear. Message that I still today couldn't agree with more. Well, what a surprise when I wrote it myself. So, thank you for listening. Have a great week. Talk about sex, honestly. And see you next Sunday.